Hello and welcome to the Kristin Carrera podcast. I am Kristin. Welcome back if you've been following along. And if you are new, please make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, follow along, comments. I love to hear your comments. Where are you coming from? Have you tried the Lion Diet Challenge? Have you tried carnivore? Or are you just trying to look into it and see if it's a right fit for you? Leave that in the comments below. Today we are talking what happened with the Lion Diet Challenge. I started a 30-day Lion Diet Challenge on October. It was an October challenge. We created a group. I was on this with Dr. Fernando Morales. He is a physician based out in Mexico. I did a podcast with him, and as we were talking, we decided, why not do this 30-day Lion Diet Challenge? As I was talking to him on the podcast, and you can go check that podcast out, I realized that I still had some anxiety. Well, I didn't realize it on the podcast, but as I was talking about it, I was telling him how I still had a little bit of anxiety. My anxiety I've had since I was young, and it's been something that I've struggled with for a very, very long time. And although, backstory, I did carnivore for almost 9 months, and it took almost 100 days to fully start seeing benefits. I got rid of my depression. I no longer feel fatigued. I no longer have brain fog. I lessened my inflammation. I had really bad inflammation in the palm of my hand that felt like arthritis. I did not ever get that diagnosed, but it is what it felt like. I am on the computer a lot, doing work for clients, so I was thinking that that was probably a possibility. I have low back pain where I have a herniated disc. My neck, I have a bulging disc. I have thyroid issues, Graves' disease in particular. I was diagnosed before having my third baby, so over 3 years ago, and I have microscopic colitis. So I had a lot going on, and that's why I started the carnivore diet to begin with. Now, fast forward 9 months, after talking to Dr. Morales, we created a group, a free group, where we got together and we posted either what we ate, we posted how we were feeling, and just an accountability group to get through those 30 days. And let me tell you, if it was not for this accountability group, I probably would have quit because I am stubborn. And I had this group and I was hosting it. So therefore, I had to lead by example. That was number one. And number two, knowing that they were in this group, knowing that they were struggling as well, I felt like I needed to push forward, push through the hard, and see where it would lead me. So after doing almost 9 months on carnivore, I still had a little bit of anxiety. Like I said, I've had anxiety since I was little. So I was still struggling with some anxiety, which now I do believe is mostly just day-to-day life stressors and the way that I deal with them. So that's something that I have to learn to deal with internally, and not so much about the nutrition that I eat. There are so many people that I see who have gone carnivore and say they no longer have anxiety. And I think that that is possible. However, I always talk to you about there's no one size fits all, and every body is different, and what works for me may not work for you. And so even though it may have worked for others, it didn't quite heal my anxiety 100%. With that said, I will say my anxiety is probably 90% better than it was. I was having anxiety every single day. I was struggling with constantly having that feeling in my chest, and I could not get rid of it. And so I thought, well, if we do this 30-day Lion Diet Challenge, I've heard a lot of things about going Lion Diet. It's like the extreme of elimination diets, right? You're only eating ruminant meats. What are ruminant meats? Meats like red meat, lamb, organ meats, right? And salt and water. That is it. Super simple. You don't have to overthink it. However, for me, it was boring. It was boring. I'm going to flat out say it. I'm going to be blunt. I know that fuel is what you will hear from these hardcore carnivores and Lion Diet eaters. However, I grew up in a Hispanic household, And even going carnivore has been a big change for me, but I can handle carnivore more than I can handle the Lion Diet Challenge. And so within these 30 days, did I cure my anxiety finally? Did I cure my inflammation, my neck and my back pain? Well, if you've been watching my daily posts, I did daily update posts, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, etc. You can go check those out. And I also did a recap of week 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can go check those out as well. Final results, I did not cure my anxiety, and my neck and low back pain is still there. So the Lion Diet Challenge just did not do it for me. There are people in our group that they were getting improvements with healing their depression, which was amazing. And others that saw really no results because they were coming from carnivore like me, and others that quit because it was a little too hard for them. And you do have to find something that is sustainable for you. You cannot live doing something nutritional wise, right? We're talking nutritional wise in this particular case, and be miserable, because you're just going to have a setback. You're going to go run probably to get something that you shouldn't be eating, and maybe even overeat. And we don't want that. We want you to stick to what you're doing, enjoy what you're doing, and get the results that you're looking for. So sadly, I did not get the results that I was looking for, but the reason that I did it was I wanted to see if by any chance doing this for 30 days would change anything. And now I know. If I would have never done this, I would have never known if it would have worked or not, and it would have been in the back of my head, like little annoying bug telling me, maybe you need to do this, because maybe this is the cure-all of your anxiety. Maybe this is going to help with your neck pain and your back pain, and you're going to finally just stop living with these things. But that wasn't the case for me. And that's okay. I have cured so much with the carnivore diet. Like I said, I no longer have my depression, which I had for over 8 years, okay, that I could not get rid of. When I would tell the doctors, they would just put it off as postpartum, every single baby, even though it lasted. For a while, they said that my anxiety and my depression could be due to my thyroid issues, but once my thyroid was balanced out with medication, then they just pretty much brushed it off and said, well, it can't be your thyroid because your thyroid is balanced right now, so it's probably something else. But there was no conversation about what it could be. Not even, maybe you need to go talk to a psychologist or something. Maybe you just have issues. I don't know. But nothing was said. And this has been my experience with doctors, and with living with depression and living with anxiety and fatigue and brain fog that just overtook my life for 8 years. And I woke up most mornings not wanting to wake up, pushing myself out of bed, coming to this room and getting my workout in with my girls. I became a wellness coach, and so we do home workouts, and they also have nutrition, and being accountable for them as well kept me going. And although it helped some days with my depression and my anxiety, it didn't take it away. And it wasn't until carnivore that I finally started healing. So even though going carnivore, if you're new, or going on the Lion Diet and you're new, is hard, and you are struggling with health issues, I say to you, you are not the only one struggling. You're not alone, sorry, in this journey. You are stronger than you think. And when you are going through the hard, remind yourself of your why. Remind yourself of your why. Because that why is going to get you through the hard until you start seeing those results. And then once you start seeing those results, you're not going to want to stop. Because that's how I felt with carnivore. It was this eye-opening moment of, holy shit, I have not felt depressed in the last 2 or 3 days. Holy shit, I didn't have anxiety leaving my house. Oh, I woke up today and I didn't feel that heavy brain fog. I was able to get up and get to my computer and start working. Whoa, is it midday? And I didn't feel like taking a nap and falling asleep on the way up to pick up my kids from school. That pain in my hands, no longer there. Is this really working? This is really working. And yet you will hear constant feedback from nutritionists on the internet and dietitians and certain doctors of how the carnivore diet is not good. And I know that there's not a lot of scientific data to back up the carnivore diet, and it's because they have not wanted to do it. I truly believe that, because I truly believe that the industry wants to keep us sick. If we are sick, the doctors don't make that much money. Nutritionists, dietitians don't make that much money. If we learn how to properly eat. I also think that we have one life to live, and we also need to enjoy it. So you need to find that middle ground of what works for you and what makes you the healthiest you can be to live a healthy and happy life. And so right now for me, it is not the lion diet, thankfully, because wow, was I moody during the lion diet challenge. I could feel that I was more moody than normal, and I started researching that too. And yes, you can become irritable when you're just not satisfied with the things that you're eating. And that's just how I felt. People will just be like, push through it, you'll get better, you'll get better. I pushed through the 30 days. I did. And I was grateful that I was able to finish those 30 days. I'm proud of myself. I give myself a hug, love myself for being able to get through those 30 days. However, I jumped back into carnivore day 31. No joke, like straight up carnivore. I did not reintroduce one food at a time. I straight up had my eggs and my bacon and my coffee. And I will tell you the improvements that I've had. I still don't have fatigue. I still have having the same routine of waking up tired, kind of going back to sleep, then getting up with more energy after my cold shower. I still have my neck pain and my low back pain. I've been working on that with my chiropractor. And positives is I had a few anxiety moments during Lion Diet Challenge. My anxiety has been a little bit better. And bowel movements. Let's talk bowel movements. During the Lion Diet Challenge, because I have microscopic colitis, I was eating a lot of fat. It was tallow on top of fat, on top of the meat, right? And I just could not get out of that. I even had a really bad microscopic episode, as I call it, where my stomach just gets, it really, really hurts. And I get sweaty and nauseous, and it's just diarrhea. So it was no bueno. And now going back carnivore, I am having normal bowel movements again. So I think a mix of cooking with butter is what I normally cook with. I don't cook with as much tallow, one, because it makes a big mess in the house and it's like really annoying. So I prefer to cook with butter. I also like the taste of butter a little bit more than tallow. I do like tallow, however, with certain meats, but usually on the grill, it's better than in the house on the cast iron that I cook on. So I've been cooking more with butter. I don't have that tallow with a fatty piece of meat in the morning because I usually have my eggs, bacon, sometimes I'll have cheese, sometimes I'll have ham. And so I think that that mixture of foods really sits better with my stomach. Again, I'm going to say it, my journey, right? So this is what's been working for me, but you have to find what works for you. So I would love to hear in the comments, what has been working for you if you're on the carnivore diet? What improvements have you seen? What results are you getting? I am definitely sticking with more carnivore, not at 100% and definitely not strict carnivore. I'm dabbling in a little bit of what they call dirty carnivore. And I know that strict carnivores don't like that word because carnivore is carnivore and there should not be nothing in between. I get that to an extent, but I am seeing what works for me. And so I am on the Kristin no diet, nutrition. We got to work on the name. Give me a name below. What should we call this? Because I want to find what works for me. I love onions. I love aguacate. I, every once in a while, put like a little red sauce on my pizza. And I don't mind making these things homemade, which I think are going to be better than buying a lot of the store-bought crap that you will find out there. But no, I have not had onions and stuff like that yet. But I do want to start implementing these things and seeing how my body reacts and seeing how I feel. So I have done avocado. I've done this in the past as well when I was doing carnivore, when I dabbled into starting animal-based, and I don't have any issues with avocados. It's not something that I eat every day, so it's also probably not going to affect me as if I had it every day, but it is something that I like to implement in my dishes every once in a while. And I also want to enjoy a little bit of a dessert here and there when I want to, so I'm going to see what we can do with that as well. I know that you will hear that raw honey is pretty much bee barf, like it's what the bees vomit is what you will hear, and that it's not good for you, and that it's just as bad as eating sugar. In my personal opinion, I think that you can't compare eating honey and eating like white sugar. But you do you, babe, and I'm gonna do me. I like a little bit of raw honey every once in a while. I also don't have any issues with raw honey. And I'm going to find what works for me, where I am still eating 10 times healthier than most people. And so if it works for me and I'm feeling great and everything is balanced in my body and I'm doing good, why not? Right? Why not? I mean, how many more years am I going to add on to my lifespan by just doing strict carnivore versus animal-based or versus the Kristin no diet? We don't know. And that's the reality of life. But we do know that we want to live a healthier life, that we do want to live longer, that we do want to be happy, right? Because that was something that I struggled with my depression, and be here for my kids and have energy for my kids, which now I have more of. And I believe that you can do the same. And it starts with knowing your why, and it starts to making that commitment. And when you make that commitment, my advice to you is to start with small goals. When I started the carnivore diet, I'm going to do 30 days only, and see how I feel. And I was reaching the 30 days. I started to see small improvements. I was still struggling, but I was seeing those improvements. And I said, I'm going to do 60. And at 60, I said, I'm going to do 90. And then I wanted to round it off to 100. So I did 100 days carnivore. And then I reintroduced foods one at a time, more animal-based. Found out that I had some issues with some fruit. I still have not had all fruits, but I cannot do pineapple. It gives me like this histamine reaction where I get like an allergic reaction and I get inflammation in my hands right away. It's really bad, and it triggered my anxiety. So can't have that, but I also can't have bone broth, which bone broth you will hear on a carnivore and lion diet is so healthy for you. And yes, it is. But again, my journey, everybody is different. My body is definitely different than most. High histamines in bone broth, I found out, cause my eyes to really, really itch, and I just cannot have it. So that is why I say you have to find what works for you. And I am finding slowly what works for me on this journey. And I will continue to share my journey with you in hopes that it will help motivate you to start your journey or help keep you on your journey. And if you would like any accountability, or if you just want to talk, go head over to my Instagram. It's listed in my description, and I would be more than happy to talk, or leave a comment below. I will see you again tomorrow. I hope that you have a beautiful day, and let's keep on moving forward on this health journey together.